I grew up watching a lot of TV. I was constantly enthralled with whatever could help me escape reality during that day, because I didn't like going to school and I felt terrible throughout the day a lot of the time. And with that, some of my favorite TV shows, as you could tell by the thumbnail, included regular show The Office, How I Met Your Mother, Friends, The Big Bang Theory, and That 70s Show. I always gravitated to one or another character on the shows as I felt like they were directly speaking to me. I related to Mordecai's journey in trying to find yourself when you were young and trying to be responsible in a fucking crazy world. I related to Ted and his hopeless romantic pursuit of finding the one. I felt a connection to Ross with his awkwardness and nerdiness at times and being a hopeless simp sometimes for his girlfriends. I connected to Leonard with his pining for a beautiful girl and nerdy tendencies that I could relate to. I found Jim Halpert from The Office relatable with his sarcastic sense of humor and tiny wins throughout the day. And finally, I felt drawn to Eric Forman's character as the wimpy kid who, while is good at heart, is constantly feeling like the butt of the joke.
Before I go any further, just wanted to say I'm not saying any of these shows are bad, I'm just criticizing the characters and the effect they had on me. Disclaimer done. Moving on.
Now, for most guys who go from simp to self-improvement, I feel like a lot of you probably relate to these characters before your own development. Because in a sense, a lot of us were these characters before we went through self-improvement. We thought if we were just nice and tried to be the good guy, then we would get the hot girl at the end. Now look, I'm not saying you shouldn't be nice to people, but at the same time, it is a lot more complicated than that. I can't even count how many times I failed at talking to girls because I thought being the cute bestie friend who calls her beautiful was the way to go. And now that I've gone through self-improvement, have gained respect for myself, and at least have a better understanding of how to be more confident and charismatic, I realized that I was looking up to TV characters as role models, when in reality the majority of dudes I just listed would have stayed single if they were in this current generation. Mordecai constantly overthinking everything and acting so shy and simp-like he was afraid of everything, which I could find funny as the one girl at the very end that he didn't simp over he ended up marrying in the finale. Ted constantly being a whiny character who's always searching for the one while at the same time hooking up constantly and then crying that he can't find anyone. Yeah, sound familiar? Ross similar to Ted in the sense that he whines constantly and in the show makes the worst decisions when it comes to relationships. Look at his break with Rachel, wedding with Emily, his relationship with Mona, and his numerous failed dates and just doing something stupid. Leonard is probably the worst out of everyone. At first, I would think that I would see him as strong to go after a girl that many people say is out of your league, but after a failed date and the failed relationship, he still goes after the same girl instead of just trying to find someone new. Some say that this is persevering and courage, but to me it signals desperation and a fear of not finding someone. Eric Forman, being at the bottom with Leonard as well, as he never improved himself, became a slacker in the very end, and eventually became a simp like the other guys on the list. Now, Jim is probably the least bad out of everyone, as he does have the confidence to go after someone that people say for him is foolish to do and make it work despite the obstacles, but the path up to that is just waiting and waiting for a girl can be seen as a bad message for a lot of guys. Now, my point is that there are a lot of bad messages spread to me, and more importantly, us as young men, as to what the dynamic of dating was supposed to be like. That if we were just the nice guys, that everything would turn out good for us, when in reality we got screwed over the most. Let me again be clear, I'm not saying to be rude to the opposite gender or whoever you were trying to date, but to look for more solid ways of improving yourself instead of just trying to be like Mordecai simping over Margaret or be the nerdy Leonard obsessing over Penny his neighbor. Instead, try to be a more confident, ambitious, muscular you that you can be proud of. And if you're wondering about some ways to do that, then I'll refer you to these videos. Thank you for making it all the way through, and if you like this video, make sure to scroll down right now and to like, subscribe, and to turn on notifications. Stay safe, stay smart, and start taking accountability today. Peace.